there is a head coach who got introduced that we have yet to discuss in earnest, and it is the head coach of the New York Jets. They went back to the future. Back in the day, speaking of Pete Carroll, the first round draft choice for Pete Carroll as a head coach in the NFL. Yes, the oldest ever head coach in the NFL. It used to be the youngest when the Jets selected him as being the HC of the NYJ, and a lot of people are like, "Who's this young guy?" And his first draft choice was Aaron Glenn, 1994. Then he played for Parcells, and he was around. He was around when the Jets came awful close to getting back to the Super Bowl before Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez got them close. And Aaron Glenn was introduced yesterday, former defensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, and this is a soundbite that's gone a lot of places in his introductory press conference.
To any players that's here now, put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges, but with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this. Listen, I want this job. I interviewed for a number of them, but I wanted this job. When I was going to my second interview, I want to make sure this is going to be the second interview. It's going to be the first of the second interviews, because I didn't want to leave the building without shaking Woody's hand and make sure we had a contract. So I'm just telling you now, everything else was really out of it. It was all about the Jets, and it's been that way from the beginning. I look forward to this. I look forward to it. It's going to be a great ride. It really is. There's nothing better than having your start here as a player, here as a scout, and now here as a head coach. And I'm ready for it. I appreciate it.
So, two things upon hearing that. The first part of it, when I heard it, I thought, oh, God. It sounded very Rex Ryan-ish to me. The only thing that was missing is he wasn't going to kiss Andy Reid's rings or whatever, that we're the frigging New York Jets, and then a very Jeb Bush-like clap, I think, in the audience. It was
just like one.
Yeah, please clap. Not great, not great. But then, then I heard what you need to hear is that he wanted the job, and that was my concern throughout this entire process. Is that people around this league would hear the stories emanating from the Jets ownership suite and front office and say no thanks. And the candidates wouldn't be top-notch because of it. Or they would read the stories. And as a matter of fact, Woody Johnson spoke at this press conference announcing Aaron Glenn coming home. And touched upon, we was asked about the dysfunction in all these stories, like the Madden rating, and let's not trade for Jerry Jeudy because his Madden rating isn't any good. And this is what he had to say about that.
You don't believe those reports, do you? There was a lot of exaggeration, hyperbole. There really was. Yeah. And you really have to take all that stuff with a grain of salt, because you don't know how much. Nobody knows how involved it was. Yes, I want Aaron Glenn to coach the team. I want the general manager to manage the assets and the players, and I'll take the owner's position. And that's what I'd like to do.
Which is great to hear. He also, I believe, in his press conference, talked about being better at the job of owning a team.
I have to look in the mirror and I have to be a better owner, and I'm trying to be better. And I do self-scout, and a lot of people scout for me, right?
On Twitter.
How can you be a better owner, in your view?
I think I did it today by introducing you to the two leaders of this team. That's part of it. The second is just to have, I've got to have patience or whatever. I've got to let them evolve as in these positions. which I think they will. I think it'll be quick, but I think they'll evolve.
Hey, it's great to hear, and I'm sorry to do this, but you always accuse me of roping you in when I shouldn't, TJ.
Well, I mean,
I mean, that's exactly the sort of stuff I'd imagine you as a Dallas Cowboy fan would love to hear from the owner of the Dallas Cowboys.
yeah.
I'm going to step back. I'm going to let the people that I have hired, because he introduced a new general manager, which back in the day used to be the most important thing for the Jets. Who's going to be actually shopping for the groceries? Oh, God, you still have the John Izek drops around here, Mike. Please don't.
Please,
I'm the
come
general
on.
manager
Oh,
of the
my
New
God.
York Jets. Ultimately, I'm responsible for the performance
All
of
right,
our
enough.
team.
Stop, John.
It's
Stop.
that was like 8 GMs ago.
Oh, God. And that used to be the most important. Like, who's going to be shopping for the grocery? Who is going to be the one who actually putting together? It's a very talented team that Aaron Glenn has in front of him, and so it's great to hear that from Woody Johnson. Like, I need to be more patient. I mean, he just fired his previous head coach 5 games into a season. My word, and we saw how poorly that went. So a self-scout, terrific. Glad to hear it. And Aaron Glenn, again, I think he probably had that line in the shoot where the frigging New York Jets or whatever, and he threw that out there. And like I said with Liam Cohen before and what we said about other coaches, you win, no one will remember. No one. And as a matter of fact, who even brings up, I mean, we still bring up the kneecap stuff with Dan Campbell, but we're so past it now,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
As in, like, he knows what he's doing, and that Hannibal Lecter stuff that he started, it was weird and wild, but guess what? We turned the page on wondering if he's the right fit or he can do the job.
We're going to have a great day today.
Thank you. And as a matter of fact, Aaron Glenn was on his staff, and if he brings a little bit of the Dan Campbell to the equation, then great. But the way that he handled this part of the media availability session when asked about Aaron Rodgers and his future there, I kind of dig hearing this. This is what Aaron Glenn had to say in response to the New York media now in a scrum around him, asking him about who's playing quarterback in Aaron Rodgers.
Will Aaron Rodgers be your quarterback?
You're going to continue to ask me the same question and get the same answer. We're still in evaluation mode. So for anybody else going to ask that, I'm going to give you the same answer. So don't waste your time. We're clear.
Well, let's answer that. What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner. A winner. Mental and physical toughness. When you talk about that, you're not going to get me.
Well, let me ask you this. You know, Parcells over. You know, I know you guys are close. He always
That's
said,
Parcells.
Okay.
I'm Aaron Glenn.
Okay, so you don't.
That's Parcells. I'm Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
Okay. He's already got the hackles up, and he's got the jousting ability, and he's got the...
New York.
We're going to prove it. And by the way, what's this guy supposed to say when Aaron Rodgers is brought up? First of all, Aaron Rodgers has apparently not said a word yet as to whether he wants to keep playing.
Right.
And this guy, of course he's not going to shut the door on Aaron Rodgers. Why would he do that? Why would he do that in his opening press conference? Why would
That'd be weird.
and if it comes out where he's like, absolutely, I would take Aaron Rodgers on. Guess what? If Aaron Rodgers says I want to come back and play, there's some contractual stuff that needs to be worked out here. And if Aaron Rodgers is like, I'm the guy, then Aaron Glenn will have to show who Aaron Glenn is all about and explain to him that he's a bridge quarterback. And we're going to get to the next one. And it's not going to be like another Jordan Love moment here. We might go to him right away. Are you fine with that? Devontae Adams, are you fine with that? If we draft a kid? What if Shedeur Sanders drops to the Jets?
Ooh.
I'm serious.
I'd be shocked for one, but
Who knows? What if the Jets love him so much they trade him to go get him?
that'd be fun. I think Aaron Rodgers is starting week 1 for the Jets.
You know what? But why would he close the door on it? He wouldn't.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Because Rodgers has got to make a stand first. He's got to make his stance known first. And then the new general manager is going to have to say, and guess what? The owner will chime in on this subject matter. I wouldn't blame Woody for wanting to get in on this chat. Enter that chat.
Or Rich, what if Aaron Glenn has watched from afar what's going on the last 2 seasons
and has no
just
desire?
I don't want to have anything to do with this guy.
That's correct.
I'm not
possible, but it's a $49 million dead cap hit.
Well, yeah, look, it worked out for the Broncos, though.
That's true.
And you're right. He could be from afar saying, I want none of this. I'm coming in. We're going to start our new program. This is the frigging New York Jets.
But who are you going to get in free agency?
I have no idea.
Because you're not going to start a rookie week 1 unless you move up to take
I
one of
have
these
no
two
idea.
guys.
I have no earthly idea. Which is why Rodgers makes sense.
Right.
Certainly if Devontae Adams is sticking around.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't know.
It just seems to me, based off the little I know about Aaron Glenn in that meeting, that it's like him and Rodgers there could be a little butting of heads if Rodgers starts trying to act like he's the smartest guy in the room.
But guess what? Guess what? This is Aaron. The last 2 years is about Aaron Rodgers. Now it's about Aaron Glenn. And I do hope Woody Johnson is 100% following his own advice or whatever epiphany might have happened. That might be too strong a word for him. But this is Aaron Glenn. This is all about letting him do his thing with the general manager that they have probably all picked together. And they have a really talented roster. As I've told you, the first order of business is to go to Sauce Gardner. That's the first guy I want Aaron Glenn talking to. Because that kid going out and saying, I'm not telling T. Higgins to come here. We need to get him back on the program. And the new general manager needs to be told, Woody can keep the white hat on this one and basically say, Garrett Wilson's staying. So let's figure out what we're doing there. And Devontae Adams can coach him up if that's what we need to do. And if Aaron Rodgers stays, then those two guys, if there is some problem that's between the two of them, let's bury that thing. And then we tell Aaron Rodgers, the Aaron here now is Glenn. If that needs to be expressed to him, perhaps it does not. I don't know. But the dysfunction does need to go. Starting now. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.